Greetings and welcome to Live Your Song, building businesses that make a difference. My name's Cheyenne Kramer and I'm here with my better half,
Don Kramer. Hello, everyone.
And we come to you each week with instructions and tools and tips and ideas and also some special guests that can help you to figure out how to connect your head and your heart and be able to create out of that space, create income out of that space. Because guess what? We're in a time that's unprecedented on this planet where we need more people who are living their song. And we are really excited to have with us today our good friend and associate, Mr. Rick Mabe. And Rick comes from some really interesting background. I hope he's going to share a little bit about that with us. But what we really asked him to come and talk about today, because I think what he has is probably one of the most important programs for people out here right now to get that head and heart hookup going on and to start being able to do whatever it is you came here to do. It's called the Hope System. And we are just so excited to turn this on over to Mr. Rick and have him tell us about it. What led to the creation?
Take it away, Rick.
Yeah.
Hello, friends. How are you? It's great to be here. Wow. Yeah, we're in a great time right now, and I know that there's a lot of people who are really struggling and having a difficult time understanding what's going on with this great COVID infiltration that's going on and everything. And one of the first things I want to just say right now is that there's always a silver lining, right? There's a silver lining in everything that happens in our great experiment here on this planet. And so the silver lining in this thing for most of us, I think, is that we have time to be in our homes, to be with people around us who really care a lot about us. And there's times for us to be able to do what we're doing right now. And that's talking to one another about what we can be doing to get ourselves better grounded, better aligned, and better connected with our Creator so that we can move into our next evolution for ourselves. So a little bit about me real quick. I was born in 1957, a while back, and my family was broken, had a lot of challenges as a youth. I was one of those bad boy kind of people. And I think that was all part of why I incarnated into this life, was to learn these lessons that I needed to learn. Dad being gone, Dad being doing the thing, Mom having her issues with relationships with men, Mom being abused, me being abused, me having sexual issues on both sides of the spectrum, me being into drugs, me taking a life. It's been a lot. There's been a lot that I have experienced, and there's reasons for me having a lot in my life. And I believe that part of, and the main thing that has come for me in experiencing the things that I've experienced is so that I can be right here, right now. In 2009, actually in 1988 is when it really began. My mom started teaching me about something called the child within, which I've now become to understand is our essence. And over the next 30 some years, it's been a journey. In 2013, I'm going to run way ahead now because I want to get this out right now. When you get to know me, I'll share more with you. We're going to get close because what's key in this thing with the pure love aspect of where we're going to go is you need to know me, I need to know you, and we will. But let me get there. In 2013, I was laying in bed one night and I was just in my meditative state, getting ready to go into my sleep state, when it came to me, hope. And it was just embedded in me from that point. Honesty, openness or omnipotence, which we'll get into, pure love and essence. Hope. And hope is a very, to some people, it's this word that seems to be, I hope I can, as there's some doubt in the wishing that I can do it. However, for me, hope is a whole different thing. Hope is a formula to get where you are now and where you have been, to where you really need to be, to where you were created to be, through a few steps, very easy steps, to get where your essence is meant to be. The way that we do that is to understand that you need to first understand honesty in here. I call it the honesty navigation system that I talk about in my book, Honesty, your essence navigation system. Hope, your honesty navigation system. Actually, it helps to know the title of your book from time to time, your essence navigation system. But hope navigation system is a key part of the formula that we talk about. So the very first thing that we will do is do an honesty assessment. So like where you are right now, if you've been impacted by COVID, right, and all of us have in some form or fashion, you've lost your job, you've got a terrible thing with a relationship going on, you're going crazy, you got kids all around you, you got your husband driving you crazy, your wife is doing this or whatever, hopefully you're getting really clean. Brad, in the beginning of this thing, you had a new honeymoon. Now you kind of look at each other going, you know, I don't know. Yeah. But your relationship maybe. And what's even, what is very core to this thing is your relationship with God, right? And then what you might be really having a concern about is, what are you going to do next? What am I going to do? You've been laid off or furloughed. What is it? And you know, one of the things I would really like for people to start thinking about is the cause of this thing is not as important as what the outcome is going to be, because the cause of this thing doesn't matter anymore. We can't blame ourselves or anyone else. We let those people who are driving this train worry about that, because you've got a different train to get onto. Your train is on a different track because you're here listening to this right now. So to honestly assess where you have been, what got you where you are, and to understand this is you, not them. Honesty. Because honesty, if you're not going to be honest about where it is you are, you can't move to the next step. You can't connect with God. You cannot be open about things unless you're honest about things. Does that make sense? It's a really simple thing. It's a really simple concept. It seems so simple.
Yeah.
But when you really get down to it, it's one of the most difficult things people have a hard time with. I have struggled with it for so many years, and I still do. Everybody does. Think about this. Your wife walks in there. She's a little bit overweight. Okay, guys, you know what I'm talking about. Your wife walks in there. She's a little overweight. She's got this dress on. Is hugging her unflatteringly. Honey, how do I look? What do you say to this beautiful woman you're married to without making her want to choke you? You can be honest and say, well, babe, you know, it's not really flattering. Am I fat? That's the honesty thing, right? So, I mean, you got to be careful with honesty because it can be brutal. But what's the ulterior thing? She puts on the dress, you go out to dinner, and people are looking at you guys. This is a very difficult tool to have to take into account when you're doing this hope thing, but you got to do the hope. Hope is so important. So honesty will allow you to begin to open up to connect with God. You have to be open. There's two O's in here. We got the openness, we got the omnipotence. But omnipotence is God-like power, right? Being open enough to understand that we have been taught, that we have been created in the likeness of God. If all you can do in this talk I'm having with you right now is look in the mirror, look at scripture, and say, I was created in the likeness of God, and believe that, that's all I need to ask you to do right now. It's in the Word, and I can feel it in me right now, coursing through me right now. God's telling me right now that I'm saying the right thing. We have within us the power to create magnificent things. Just look around you at anything, pick it. Just pick it. Where do you think that came from? It came from man. Where do you think that came from? That's a wolf, by the way. It's my spirit animal. Where do you think that came from? It came from man. Because we have within us the power to create magnificent things beyond belief. And all you have to do is believe that you were created in the image of your Creator. That's where we've got to go with the hope, the O in the hope formula. The next piece is pure love. Pure love, folks. That is the most undeniable piece of being the human essence on this planet and in creation that we can be. Because without pure love, there is no humanity. When you look at a baby that's just been born, that is absolute purity at its finest. When a little kid looks at you and says something to you that is so just innocent, and it touches your heart and makes you cry, and it's going to be the stupidest little thing, just the simplest thing, makes Grandpappy cry. That's pure love. When you're in the grocery store and there's someone in front of you who can't seem to get the card to work, and you know in your heart that they need help, and you say, excuse me, and you put your card in the machine, you don't say anything, you don't do anything, you just pay it. Pure love. No expectation of reciprocity at all. That's pure, unbiased, pure love. That's the third part of the formula that you have to learn to be able to exercise in order to be able to get to the point where you've got hope by the essence of yourself, the essence of God. And then, when you've got those three pieces pulled together, you can start to feel your essence. When you were created, when you were designed, you were given an essence. And I'm not saying that your creator said you're going to go down there and be an artist. You're going to paint Picassos. I'm not saying that God said you're going to go down there and you're going to create the light bulb. What I'm saying is that when you were created, you were designed with certain inherent characteristics that laid before you the ability to create in magnificent ways, and all you have to do is understand it and feel it. Now, when Bach was able to create magnificent pieces of music at a very young age, because he knew from the time he was 9 years old. When people know close to you, you go, how can you do that at that young age? I just had a thought about hidden numbers. Anybody seen that movie, Hidden Numbers? Young little lady.
Yep.
Who ended up working for NASA and taught these guys how to launch a rocket and get around to the moon or whatever it was to get back.
Yep.
That was genius. But that young lady knew how to do that math when she was 5 years old.
Yep.
That's essence. But for many of us, and this is the point, it's gone. It gets nailed out of us. And this is, I'm gonna be kind of blunt with you for a minute here, okay? For many of us, we've got belief systems, we've got things that have been programmed in us so that we can't find our essence. It's been pushed out of us because of traditions, because of paradigms that we've lived in for hundreds of years, thousands of years. And I'm not trying to tell you to go take a long walk on a short pier here. Okay, I'm nothing like that. What I am saying to you here tonight is it is time for you to think about history. Just take a thought for history just for a minute. Know where we are right now. We're in a pandemic, right? Have we ever had that before?
Not in recent history.
1917.
Yeah.
The Spanish flu. The Black Plague. Back in biblical times, I think there was a plague that went through some town in Bible times that wiped out an entire civilization. Are we repeating history? What I'm trying to say here is that there are things that we need to learn to change our thinking, to change the paradigms under which we have been taught, to start new thinking about what it is that we believe. And maybe we just need to tweak things a little bit to say, yes, I need to find my essence. Because I'm sitting here in this house right now, and I don't know. I've been welding for 35 years, and I got burns all over my body. I can't stand it. I got laid off 3 months ago, and I can't stand being a welder. So what is it I got to do next? Well, Rick's here to tell you. There is this formula called hope. I'm not saying that Rick's got the answer to the end of the world or any of that stuff. Okay, here's what I got. I've got this honesty. I've got this omnipotence. I've got this pure love, and I've got this essence. And inside this thing I've got called hope, I've got this way to walk you through workshops to get you through these individual exercises to get you where you need to be. And I'm not trying to put a sales pitch in here or anything, because listen to me. The Hope Institute right now is a nonprofit. And one of the lessons that I'm learning is that the way to do this is not to go out here and try to sell things. That's not what we're doing here anymore. Sheehan's going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that. We're doing things completely different now. We got a whole different business paradigm. And I'm not going to get in that with you now because that's not important. What I am going to share with you, though, is this. This is the companion book that comes with that. Inside here are the 5 different things to do to get to your essence. That's it. I know it seems simple, but don't take it for granted just because it's a little thin little thing. Okay? Because this thing's bad to the bone. I've got people that are calling me, telling me they've been using this thing for a long time. Because inside here, there's an honesty assessment, there's an openness assessment, There's a pure love assessment. There's an essence assessment, but there's more than that in here. There's also an affirmation journal. The affirmation journal is what's going to help you to make your prayers be more realistic. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a thing in here that helps prayers be more realistic in their approach. Let me just put it that way. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you will. When you start working with us, you're going to see it. You're going to understand what I'm saying when I say affirmation journal. Also in here, there's this thing called, and just real quick, I know I'm running out of time, right?
Yeah.
I've probably gone, maybe I've gone over, I don't know, but you give me a couple minutes. Let me just, a couple more minutes. So in the back of this thing, okay, there is something called, real quick, this is called your strategic plan for my value deployment right here. So this is not just about spiritual enlightenment. This is not just about connecting with God. This is about developing a strategic plan for your value deployment. And she is going to be all over that. She's going to tell you all about that. She tells you all about that every day. But so once you have connected with God the way you're supposed to and gotten to where you know you're and understand where we found your essence, then you got to develop your strategic plan to sell yourself as the product to the world. Okay.
I call it hashtag do the change.
There you go.
You don't do it.
I want to thank y'all for giving me a few minutes tonight. I think I went over a bit, but you asked me to.
Oh, well, you have a lot of passion behind this, and you've been keeping it bottled up and hidden away for way too long. So you're being exposed.
Thank you.
We love it. We love it. You have any final question for Mr. Rick?
Well, how can people get home? That's one thing.
Yeah, now
can
I
I
know
hold
that now of course this is being recorded and this won't be the truth forever, but right this moment I know you've got a workshop coming up real soon. You know, what's the best way for someone to reach you if they wanted to be part of that or just wanted to reach out to you in general?
Well, you know, the website, livinghopeinstitute.org, there's a contact form on there that you can subscribe to the Living Hope Institute there at any time. One of the things that she and I are working on right now, because we're really working together now. That she's my saving grace, I'm gonna tell you right now. But and we'll talk about that later. That's a different story. But livinghopeinstitute.org it's to some degree, it's going a lot virtual. We want to build an institute one day. That's the ultimate goal too, is to have a brick and mortar Hope Institute. God, I hope we get it done, but we're going to get it done. Livinghopeinstitute.org is the website. You can subscribe, you can donate, you can hang out there. There's a blog on there, there's a blog page. There's videos, there's all kinds of articles on it that I write, and I try to bring others in there to help. Rick Mabe at livinghopeinstitute.org. You can email me there, rickmabe at livinghopeinstitute.org, or just go on the website. The best way to get in touch with us for this workshop is to just do that. There's an RSVP on there, but you have to get that by email. So if you want to contact me at rickmabe at livinghopeinstitute.org, that's the best way to get an RSVP for the workshop. If you're really enthusiastic about it, though, you just want to contact me and say, I want to attend, I'll just turn around and send you the Zoom link. Because we want to get as many people, you know, going forward with this as we can to get you guys better connected first, and then to help you get on with your essence. So that's how you get in touch with me.
Awesome.
Good,
Well,
good.
thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate what you're doing. And, you know, it's time for more people to get off the bleachers and onto the playing field. And I know you can help some folks do that. So we're honored and excited to be working with you and can't wait to see what your students produce.
Let's rock and roll. Rock and
All
roll.
right, sir. Have a good one. And everybody out there who's following the Live Your Song show, listen up. the time is now. If you have not gotten off the bleachers yet, you need to get off. You need to start moving. You've got to get that connection going on and figure out what is it that your creator sent you here to do. Until next week, folks, we'll see you on the Live Your Song show. Have a great week.
Yep, let's move it.
Bye.